On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori stresses need for strict adherence of contractual agreements in ongoing construction across the state. State government reiterates back elections, warns against disrupting projects. JAM announces strict guidelines ahead of UTME commencing tomorrow. Abroad, South Africa's president appoints country's new ambassador to the United States. Good evening and welcome to Delta TV Main News Tonight. My name is Francis Ofulue. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube, both at Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba. And now the details. The state governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to quality delivery and strict adherence to contractual agreements and the ongoing reconstruction of the Warri Stadium project. Now, speaking during an inspection of the facility, the governor expressed dissatisfaction with delays by the contractor, noting that the initial agreement was for completion in December. Despite concerns over delays, the governor commended the quality of the playing pitch, describing it as satisfactory and in line with expectations. He, however, rejected aspects of the ongoing work, particularly the cladding, which he described as substandard and temporary. Governor Oborevwori emphasized that the government would not alter the contract, but would ensure delivery according to agreed specifications, warning that failure to meet expectations would face or attract public scrutiny. President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Mr. Ibrahim Gusau, commended the project, describing it as a major boost for football development. Also speaking, Director General of the National Institute for Sports, Philip Shaibu, praised the quality of the turf, describing the project as a testament to Delta State's commitment to sport infrastructure development. Meanwhile, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has reaffirmed the state government's ban on illegal collection of levies, popularly known as DEVE, from developers, warning that anyone found engaging in such activities will face strict consequences. Now, the governor issued a warning yesterday during an inspection visit to the Warri Stadium project, where he stressed that his administration would not tolerate any act capable of disrupting government, company, or personal projects across the state. The warning comes on the heels of the recent arraignment of two suspects in court over the illegal collection of DEVE. Governor Oborevwori declared that any form of unauthorized levy imposed on contractors or developers was dead on arrival, noting that such practices hinder development and discourage investors, while commending the chairman of Warri South Local Government Council, Honorable Wayimi Agbatayino, for his efforts in maintaining peace and fostering development in the area. He noted that collaboration between state and local authorities has been instrumental in ensuring a conducive environment for ongoing projects, highlighting his administration's commitment to job creation through infrastructure development. Governor Oborevwori explains that ongoing projects across the state are engaging local labor and boosting economic activities as artisans, suppliers, and traders benefit from the execution of government contracts. The governor also disclosed that the state government has introduced a special allowance for medical doctors aimed at improving healthcare delivery and motivating health workers. According to him, the initiative, which includes additional financial incentives, underscores the administration's commitment to supporting critical sectors. The governor reiterated that most of the jobs generated through the state projects are being handled by local workers, dismissing the notion that foreign expertise dominates project execution. He assured Deltans that the government would continue to prioritize policies and actions that promote economic growth, peace, and sustainable development across the state. The Ijaw Nation in the state has formally supported President Bola Tinubu and Governor Sheriff Oborevwori for development strides across the state. The support came as the highlight of a grand reception held in honor of Governor Oborevwori at Bomadi Town. The event, hosted by the Ijaw National Congress in Bomadi, drew prominent political leaders, traditional rulers, stakeholders, and members of the Ijaw Nation from across the state and beyond. The support followed a motion moved by Honorable Julius Hyundai, calling on the Ijaw people to support President Bola Tinubu and Governor Sheriff Oborevwori for a second term. The motion for support was seconded by Honorable Oboropriyo and adopted through a voice vote recited by the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Omotimi Guo, receiving the overwhelming support from the gathering. The ceremony also featured the conferment of the traditional title on Governor Sheriff Oborevwori by the Delta Ijaw Traditional Rulers Forum in recognition of his developmental strides across Ijaw communities. Governor Oborevwori expressed appreciation for the overwhelming support, describing it as one of the highest honors from his people. He noted that his administration has also expended over 400 billion naira on infrastructure in Ijaw communities, covering roads, bridges, schools, and healthcare facilities. Governor Doye Diri praised the governor's development efforts, especially riverine areas, and called for unity among the Ijaw people to strengthen their political relevance. The president of the Ijaw National Congress, Professor Benjamin Okaba, and other leaders described the endorsement as a reflection of visible achievements and a call for sustained development in Ijaw communities. Renowned entrepreneur and chairman of Cubana Group, Chief Obinna Iyegbu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, has marked his 51st birthday with the unveiling of a signature home at the Cubana Millennium City in Asaba. The project is being positioned as a major step toward building a world-class urban hub in Delta State.
Elder Sheriff Francis Oborevwori, JP, Governor Delta State, has arrived.
It was a gathering of influence, vision, and enterprise as Chief Obinna Iyegbu unveiled a signature home reflecting his ambition for modern city living. The event held in Asaba drew Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, top government officials, captains of industry, and prospective investors all converged to witness what was being described as a landmark development. Speaking at the ceremony, Chief Iyegbu said the project was beyond luxury housing, describing it as part of a broader vision to redefine urban living and stimulate economic growth in Delta State. He emphasized that the Cubana Millennium City was designed to integrate residential, commercial, and recreational facilities, creating a self-sustaining environment for residents and businesses.
When I set the date for this commissioning, 98% of everybody, including people here, doubted. But we were focused. We were supported all the way by the beautiful people, especially the government of this beautiful state, Delta State. There were no hiccups. The host communities were so nice. Everything worked in our favor. And today, I stand before you all with all sense of pride to say that when you dream, you can achieve. When you wish, you can make it happen. When you have God, everything is possible.
Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, in his remarks, commended the initiative, noting that it aligned with his administration's drive to attract investment and promote infrastructure development across the state. He added that the projects of this scale will not only boost the local economy, but also create employment opportunities and enhance the state's profile as a destination for business and leisure.
For coming to show us love, for coming to come and invest in Delta State. You have done investment in Lagos, you have done investment in Abuja. This one is more secure. This one is close to you. This is homecoming.
Strategically located near major transport corridors and the Asaba International Airport, the development will draw significant investor interest. Antonia Mowa reporting.
The Asaba of Asaba, Professor Epiphany Azinge, has reiterated its commitment to environmental protection and climate action through tree planting initiatives aimed at mitigating the effect of climate change. Professor Azinge stated this during a tree planting exercise at the Nelson Mandela Garden in Asaba. Henry Unogwa reports.
The Asaba, who led a team of palace chiefs to the garden, commended desert warrior Dr. Newton Jibno for his remarkable contributions to tourist development in the state capital. He described Dr. Jibno as a distinguished Anyoma figure whose contribution to national development remained invaluable, praising his wisdom, experience, and lifelong dedication to environmental advocacy. Professor Azinge staff of the garden to sustain the temple and support Dr. Jibno's vision, noting that the Nelson Mandela Garden has evolved into a major tourist attraction in Asaba. The monarch also announced his intention to confer a chieftaincy title on Dr. Jibno in recognition of his continued efforts in tackling environmental challenges, especially in Asaba.
This is to encourage you the more to continue on this trajectory and also to use this medium to attract more people to show interest in this place, to promote this as a tourist site in Asaba and a tourist destination of first rate because we are just by the airport.
In his remarks, Dr. Newton Jibno, who gave a brief history of the garden, expressed appreciation to the Asaba for the visit and recognition. He noted that forests once served as natural protective shields, warning that their depletion exposed communities to stronger winds capable of causing severe destruction. Dr. Jibno cautioned that without protective environmental measures, extreme weather conditions could escalate and result in disaster comparable to hurricanes.
Royal Majesty has now become part of the whole sensitization policy of our organization to bring little gardens into little forests so that we can begin to, our forest has been so badly depleted over the years. By adapting this method, especially planting it here, that is going to become the future palace of Asaba. It's a novelty, and it is something we should all identify with.
Earlier, the sales and marketing manager of the Nelson Mandela Garden, Ms. Oluebube Okafo, conducted the Asaba and his entourage around the facility and its hospitality center. The highlight of the exercise was the planting of trees named after Asaba heritage, including Nebisi step tree, Ujom tree, Omangwele tree, Ahaboibu State tree, Asabamaka tree, and Izukanane tree. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Residents in the state capital have reacted to the approval of a 200,000 naira salary increase for doctors by Governor Sheriff Burewari. Delta TV news reporter Violet Moy sampled public opinion on the development.
Respondents commended the governor's initiative, saying the improved welfare for medical doctors would help reduce the migration of doctors abroad in search of better opportunities. They noted that the increment would boost morale and improve the quality of healthcare delivery.
For me, it is a welcome idea and it's good. And recent increment of doctors' salary by our governor, I think it's very okay to me because the risk doctors are taking is much.
To cushion the effect of the environment and the cost of living for today. And the climax of it all is this Japa syndrome. It will also reduce the syndrome they call Japa.
Respondents stressed the need for other sectors to also be considered, noting that every profession is important to the growth of the state, adding that many workers faced similar economic challenges and called for broader support across the public sector to enhance productivity and improve living standards.
Giving to doctors, that is one. Then on the general body, the entire civil service, you know, it is expected that this good gets be extended to them. And you will see people come to work. You will see people being that disciplined. You will see the best of them. and because they will spend the entire time sitting down because they know that at the end of the day, there is something to encourage them.
The lab technicians, the lab people too, their own has to be increased equally with nurses.
The economy is biting harder every day because of fuel. So if you can increase for the medical doctor because we have scarcity of them in Nigeria here and people are traveling abroad, what if other staff too decide to do same? Is it because they are professionals? So those who, even a teacher is a professional. Any career that you take as your own, you are a professional in it. And so the governor has to get consideration. We are only pleading that you should do it. I'm a public servant as well. I want the governor to do it round. It might not be 200,000 naira for other civil servants. You can grade it, but let the people get that benefit.
Violet Monye reporting.
The growing preference for quick money among youths over traditional white-collar jobs is raising concern. Many young people have turned away from office careers in search of faster ways to earn a living. Economic challenges, changing values, and social media influence are believed to be driving the trend. Gloria Otolo sampled public opinion on the reasons behind the shift.
Some residents blame the situation on the high rate of unemployment and underemployment, noting that many graduates struggle to secure stable white-collar jobs after years of schooling.
Those that are in the streets, you see the way they get the money very easily and not so easily per se, but you can see that with little effort, the money comes bigger.
Others pointed to poor salaries and slow career growth in many formal sectors, saying the effort put into such jobs did not match the financial rewards.
They want to get money at all costs. They see that life, they don't want to suffer. They look at the white-collar job as something that cannot give them the type of money they are looking for. They want money they want to drive big cars.
A number of youth also cited the influence of social media, where flashy lifestyles and instant success stories created pressure to make money quickly. There were also concerns about the rising cost of living, with many saying it was difficult to rely solely on monthly salaries to meet basic needs.
Majorly the pay. Because of the pay, the salary is not enough to run the home and to cater for other activities.
However, some advise young people to strike a balance by combining legitimate work with entrepreneurship, stressing that patience, skill development, and integrity remain key to sustainable success. Gloria Otolo reporting.
The All Progressives Congress in Ethiop West local government area of Delta State has held a unity rally, emphasizing the need for party cohesion. The rally held at the Ogara Township Stadium brought together key stakeholders, political leaders, and party faithful in a show of solidarity and renewed commitment to the party's success. The report is presented from our studios.
Addressing party members, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori emphasized the importance of unity in strengthening the party's chances in future elections. The governor, who was represented by the All Progressives Congress Delta Central Chairman Chief Paulinus Akbeki, reiterated a call for collective interest and cooperation among members. He said the unity demonstrated at the rally was critical to consolidating the party's gains and ensuring sustained political dominance in the area. Governor Oborevwori urged all members and leaders in Ethiop West to work together in harmony for the collective good of the party.
In closing, I reaffirm my confidence in the people of Ethiop West. Together, we will be the formidable APC that is not only united, but unstoppable.
Speaking at the event, the executive chairman of Ethiop West local government area, Honorable Chris Onogba, described the development as a positive turning point, noting that sacrifices and forgiveness had been made to achieve reconciliation and unification. He added that the unity would be sustained for the long-term progress of the party.
No matter how difficult
Let's say people agree to have a conversation around any issue, there must be solution.
In a goodwill message, the member representing Ethiop Federal Constituency, Honorable Eriatake Ibori Swenu, called on party members to avoid divisive comments on social media and focus instead on building stronger internal relationships. She stressed that the party must operate as one family and avoid actions capable of creating discord among leaders and supporters. Similarly, the chairman of the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, DESOPADEC, Chief John Nani, echoed similar sentiments, warning against negative social media engagement and urging members to promote unity at all levels. Other stakeholders, including Chief Halims Agoda, Senator Amori, Chief Emmanuel Igomena, Chief Wilson Omene, Pastor Godwin Akbovi, Evangelist Champion Batehe, and Mr. Hope Abejo, expressed joy over the reconciliation and unification, describing the rally as a defining moment for the party in Ethiopia West. They noted that the renewed unity represented a significant milestone and urged members to maintain the momentum moving forward.
We have decided as leaders to put all our differences aside, to forgive, to unite, to make Ethiopia West great again.
The leaders follow them perfectly. Not trying to follow the thing of discord among them any longer.
It can only be by God's grace that we are united today.
High point of the rally was the unanimous endorsement of President Bola Tinubu, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, Senator Ede Dafinone, Honorable Eriatake Ibori Swenu, and Honorable Blessing Achoja for a second term ahead of the 2027 elections. The motion for endorsement was moved by Chief Halims Agoda and seconded by other party leaders, receiving overwhelming support from attendees. The large turnout of party faithful who filled the stadium and engaged in solidarity songs underscored the significance of the rally as a symbol of renewed unity in Ethiopia West politics.
President Bola Tinubu has said outdated colonial-era tax laws contributed to economic hardship in Nigeria due to fragmentation and inefficiencies in the system. President Tinubu, who made the remark at the commissioning of the new headquarters of the Nigeria Revenue Service in Abuja, noted that reforms were necessary to strengthen the country's fiscal foundation. The president explained that the new tax system introduced by his administration aims to create a more transparent, fair, and investment-friendly environment that supports economic growth and restores public confidence. He added that the reforms were designed to simplify taxation, eliminate distortions, and promote inclusive development. President Tinubu also said early results of the reforms were already evident in improved fiscal stability and investor confidence, reaffirming his administration's commitment to building a stronger and more efficient revenue system for national development. The federal government says the Nigerian Air Force has carried out an intelligence-led airstrike on terrorist positions in Gubbio local government area of Borno State. Under operation, Minister of Information Mr. Mohammed Idris says the target was a known insurgent enclave linked to Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province. He explained that the strike followed weeks of surveillance and intelligence gathering aimed at disrupting terrorist operations and supply networks in the area. The federal government said it remained committed to sustaining pressure on insurgent groups as part of ongoing counterterrorism operations in the northeast. It expressed regret over any civilian casualties and announced that an investigation has been launched into the incident. The government also urged residents to comply with security advisories as operations continue in the region. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced strict guidelines and penalties ahead of the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, scheduled to hold from tomorrow, that is April 16 through April 25, nationwide. The board says candidates must comply fully with examination rules, warning that violations could lead to cancellation of results, bans or prosecution under the Examination Malpractice Act. JAMB outlined several misconduct codes, including impersonation, possession of mobile phones, calculators, storage devices, and collusion with others. The board warned that such offences attracted severe penalties, including cancellation of results, multi-year bans, and possible legal action. Other offences such as lateness, spying, and unauthorized movement within examination halls also carries penalties, while violent conduct could result in expulsion and a 3-year ban. The board further listed prohibition items including wristwatches, writing materials except HB pencils, electronic gadgets, bags, jewelry, and financial items such as ATM cards. JAMB emphasized that strict biometric verification will be conducted at all centers and advised candidates to arrive early with only permitted items to ensure a smooth examination. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has deployed additional personnel to examination centers across the country ahead of the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, scheduled to begin tomorrow. The move, according to the police, was aimed at ensuring a safe and hitch-free exercise for candidates nationwide. Force Public Relations Officer Mr. Anthony Placid dismissed reports of threats to candidate safety, describing them as unfounded. He explained that proactive measures had been put in place, including both overt and covert security deployment, routine patrols, perimeter surveillance, and the positioning of rapid response teams at strategic locations. The police also said it was working closely with other security agencies to monitor potential threats and guarantee a coordinated response throughout the examination period. Candidates were advised to arrive early, comply with examination guidelines, and report any suspicious activities, while members of the public were urged to avoid spreading unverified information. The chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, General Buba Marwa, has warned students against drug abuse, describing it as a major threat to their future. Speaking at the convocation ceremony of Yakubu Gowon University in Abuja, General Marwa cautioned students on the rising prevalence of drug abuse among young people. He noted that many youths resorted to substance abuse due to peer pressure, emotional stress, and social influences, especially within tertiary institutions. General Marwa warned that drug abuse could lead to addiction, poor academic performance, mental health challenges, and increased exposure to criminal activity. He urged students to stay away from drugs and focus on building their future through discipline, education, and positive choices. He further stressed that drug abuse remained a growing concern on campuses nationwide and called for sustained awareness, campaigns to protect young people from falling into addiction. The Delta State Civil Service Commission has announced the schedule for the 2026 promotion exercise for officers on salary grade levels 5 to 10. According to the Commission, the promotion examination will hold on Saturday, April 18, 2026, at the Ted Fund 1000 Capacity Hall, Dennis Osadebe University, Asaba, between 9 in the morning and 11 in the morning. A refresher course is also scheduled for Friday, April 17, 2026, at the same venue from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. The oral interview for eligible officers will take place on Monday, April 20, 2026, by 9 a.m. at the Civil Service Commission, Asaba. The Commission advised that only officers whose names and particulars have been duly submitted by their ministries, departments, and extra-ministerial departments will be accredited to participate in the exercise. All eligible officers are required to come along with photocopies of their letters of first appointment, last promotion, and staff identity cards for the examination, while original copies of relevant documents including academic credentials, birth certificate, local government identification, and National Youth Service Corps Discharge of Exception certificate must be presented during the oral interview. The Commission emphasized that success in the promotion examination remains a prerequisite for advancement in the service. Still to come, South Africa's president appoints country's new ambassador to the United States. Stay with us.
As a host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
Watching Delta TV main news at 8. We go to our next story now, where it was a day of celebration in Ozoro Kingdom, Isoko North local government area, as sons and daughters of the land gathered in large numbers to welcome home one of their own, Sir Blessing Obomovo, whose achievements have continued to bring honor to the community. The ceremony held at the Oputa Hall in Ozoro. Henry Usiayo reports.
Sir Blessing Obomovo, known for his contributions to the building and construction sector, was received with great enthusiasm by community leaders, youths, and elders. In his address, Sir Obomovo expressed gratitude for the overwhelming reception, describing Ozoro as a foundation for his ambition. He emphasized the need for purposeful leadership, youth inclusion, and accelerated infrastructure development across Isoko land. He used the platform to formally declare his intention to contest for a seat in the House of Representatives, representing the Isoko Federal Constituency under the All Progressives Congress, APC. Sir Obomovo called on the people of Ozoro and Isoko Nation in general to unite behind a common vision of the renewed hope of President Bola Tinubu and the more agenda of the State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, aimed at repositioning them for more development.
I want to serve my people. I feel that government offices should be used for the benefit of their people. I feel I can use that office to do better for our people. So that's the motivation. Everything about me, my antecedent clearly shows that that's what I've stood for over the years. So representation, serving our people, creating opportunity for our people. So bringing a government office into it will be a plus.
In their separate remarks, the traditional ruler of Ozoro Kingdom, Barrister Anthony Uvietobore Ogbobo Ibuka IV, represented by the Palace Secretary, Chief Solomon Akeni, community leaders, including the President General of the Ozoro Development Union, Ojon Beckley Asiafa, described Sir Obomovo as a philanthropist who has continued to identify with his kindred. They applauded him for his proven track records and strong community ties towards youth empowerment and community development.
Blessing has been so good to so many youths in the kingdom. You saw what just happened in the hall. When someone stood up and said, you want Blessing to go to Abuja for us. The ovation was so loud and high. The ovation was very, very loud. He's loved by a lot of people, women, old women, young women.
The kingdom decided, he said he was coming home to see his people. After that discussion, he said, well, he's interested in going to House of Representatives. And you can see the people inside the hall. They are not rented crowd.
Blessing Obomovo is humility personified. And these are the kind of people that we need to represent us.
We cherish him so much because of his antecedents. I think with his antecedents, we have no other choice than to endorse him.
We have all come out en masse today that we have endorsed him 100%.
Highlight of the ceremony was a vote of confidence passed in Sir Blessing Obomovo. Henry Usiayo reporting.
Into the foreign scene, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed Mr. Ralph Meyer as the country's new ambassador to the United States. The presidency said the appointment takes immediate effect. The position had been vacant since former envoy Mr. Tu Ibrahim Raskow was expelled last year following remarks in which he accused US President Donald Trump of promoting white victimhood. Meanwhile, Mr. Meyer, aged 78, was a key figure in South Africa's transition from apartheid, serving as a chief negotiator for the National Party alongside Ramaphosa, who represented the African National Congress led by Mr. Nelson Mandela. In West Africa, Anglophone separatists in Cameroon have declared a temporary ceasefire, announcing a 3-day safe travel passage ahead of Pope Leo XIV's visit to the conflict-affected regions of the country. Leaders of several armed and secessionist groups said the measure was to recognize the spiritual importance of the papal visit, which begins today, and to ensure the safety of civilians during the period. In a statement issued by the Unity Alliance, the coalition says it would allow free movement for residents and pilgrims participating in the activities surrounding the visit. Pope Leo XIV is currently in Algeria as part of an 11-day African tour that will also take him to Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea, with peace as a central theme. Now, business. The Debt Management Office, DMO, says Nigeria's total public debt for federal and state government hit 159.27 trillion naira at the end of the fourth quarter of 2025. The figure represents an increase of 5.98 trillion compared to 153.29 trillion naira recorded at the end of the third quarter and 14.6 trillion naira higher than the 144.67 trillion naira recorded in the fourth quarter of 2024. In a statement today, DMO said the public debt profile consists of the domestic and external debt stocks of the federal and subnational government, the 36 state and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. According to the Debt Office, the total domestic debt was 84.84 trillion naira, that is $59.11 billion, while the total external debt was 74.42 trillion naira, that is $51.85 billion. In addition, DMO said domestic debt stood at 74.38 trillion naira in December 2024, representing an increase of 10.47 trillion naira, or 14.1% of the current figure, while foreign debt increased by 4.14 trillion from 70.29 trillion naira recorded in December 2024. The Debt Office further said that out of the total domestic debt, the federal government accounted for 80.48 trillion naira, higher by 2.67 trillion naira compared to quarter 3 figure. And now, our thought for the day. Things don't get better with time. Things get better because something was done in time. To end news to the highlights, Governor Sheriff Oberewori has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to quality delivery and strict adherence to contractual agreements on the ongoing reconstruction of the Warri Stadium project. Speaking during an inspection of the facility, the governor expressed dissatisfaction with delays by the contractor, noting that the initial agreement was for completion in December. The state government has reaffirmed the ban on illegal collection of levies, popularly known as DEVE, from developers, warning that anyone found engaging in such activity will face strict consequences. The governor issued the warning during an inspection visit to the Warri Stadium project. We reported that the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB has announced strict guidelines and penalties ahead of the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, scheduled to hold from tomorrow through April 25 nationwide. And from the foreign scene, South Africa's president appoints country's new ambassador to the United States. Remember, you can follow our news online on Facebook as well as YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website www.dbsasaba.com. That's the news. Thank you so much for being part of it. I'm Francis Ofulue. Good evening.